Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and I'm back with another sponsored Blade & Soul video. Now in the video before launch, I covered some basic tips to get you through some of the basics people don't tell you before you log on. I know plenty of people have been saved with that PvP tip. Today I want to cover some things that will make your leveling life a little bit easier. This includes how to save and use things such as unsealing charms and keys, useful crafting and gathering combinations for certain quests, and how to ensure your leveling process goes smoothly. Now, I'm someone who did the first 30 levels without premium back in the beta, so I'll try my best to convey the importance of certain experiences to help guide you along. Alright, so the first big thing people tend to ask me about is upgrading their weapons. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I've done a video explaining this, so if you have any questions about that you need answered exclusively, click that little eye in the top right of the video and click that video that involves that piece of content. The thing is, the other big issue is how people approach upgrading their weapons, overusing unsealing charms and keys in an attempt to get the items that they want. Now, contrary to popular belief, you actually don't need to unseal or open every single lockbox or soul shield. Try to only use keys on lockboxes for breakthrough materials, which, don't get me wrong, with bad RNG it can really add up on its own and chew through your keys, but it's better than spending it on every single chest that you come across and then having none for later. Also, only unseal blue or purple quality soul shields. The lower level ones you should probably just destroy for materials. Now also remember, you don't need to unseal an item to use it as an amplifier to level your accessories and your weapon. Just use the sealed version and save your unsealing charms for later. While we're talking about soul shields, this next tip is a really important one because this slowed down my leveling experience a lot. Don't feel the need to stop and grab an entire set of soul shields before moving on to the next thing in the game. This especially includes Black Ram Narrows and the Tomb of the Exile. Yes, I know in the previous video I mentioned that beating the last boss of these dungeons can give you additional stats as per the bonus attribute section in your achievement log. That being said, you don't always get everything you need in 10 runs, especially when it comes to soul shields, so you really just don't need to spam the dungeons any more than what it takes to get your breakthrough materials. You can also just go back when you're level 45 and have those soul shields and get the stats then, so you really don't need to stress it this much. Trust me, it makes leveling a lot faster because the experience points you gain inside of Black Ram Narrows and Tomb of the Exile are not as high as you can get from other places in the game. Just grab what you can while you're going through your breakthrough weapons and don't spend time trying to complete the entire set. Also, because you're doing this, you should save a bunch of unsealing charms in the process. The only set you may want to stop and grab is the Cinderland Soul Shield from Yahara's Mirage around level 36. And now, you don't have to go and grind for this. This set just costs Cinderland's Valor Stones, and if you have 16 of them, you could just get the whole set outright. It's not great, but it's better than stopping and grinding everything for way too long. Just grab the soul shields that you can and move on. Next is the pretty basic tip, honestly something I probably should have mentioned in the pre-launch video, and that's the surveys. Every couple of levels you get a survey that asks you about certain pieces of the game. That are you satisfied with, are you dissatisfied, can you please leave some comments? Now, I'm pretty good friends with some people over at NCSoft, and they've actually gone into chats and asked people to please start filling those out seriously because they actually use the information that they give. That being said, the one big benefit to these things is that they give you things like Dragon Trader pouches for inventory space. They can give you keys, they can give you unsealing charms, they can give you essences for rolling wheels, which can eliminate the need to farm an open world boss over and over again, and they can just give you a ton of useful items. You're just hurting yourself by avoiding these surveys, and they can be done once per character, so you can benefit from them every time you level a new class. Another big thing that people may not be as used to in this game is its big emphasis on daily quests. Do them if you have the time, even while leveling up. If you log off near a bunch of daily quests and you log back on, sometimes they can be worth doing as long as they're still in your level range. They give really good experience points, money, a chance at brilliant keys, valor stones, regular keys, unsealing charms, potions, venture tokens for the Hongmoon store. They're just super beneficial to you in every way, especially if you manage to get one of the brilliant keys, because that can eliminate the amount of time that you have to grind future dungeons by a lot. And honestly, sometimes accepting these daily quests, it's fun to go back and challenge yourself to solo some of the dungeons involved with those, or you can just grab a quick party, whatever works best for you. Now, crafting and gathering is something I'm really going to have to expand upon more in a dedicated video. I again have done a video on the basics of it and the things you need to know, and again that will be at the I thing in the top right. But there are things that I could still mention, such as a few solid combinations right here. The one that I'm rolling with on my main character is Green Thumbs plus Tree Fellers for Gatherers, and Merry Potters and Soul Wardens for Crafters, and it works out pretty well in a lot of ways. For one, the Merry Potters can make an item called a Serpent Bell, or something along those lines. I think it's Serpent Caller Bell is the correct name. And when you're in your late 20s, you actually need this for what's known as a Windwalking quest. These are quests that can extend the amount of time that you sprint. They can give you new aerial moves that are a little bit faster or flashier for you. And, well, you're going to need one for that quest. I see them selling for like 20 silver nowadays, and I know that while that price will go down, it's something that you can make use of, whether you want to save the money or make money by making them yourself. They can also drop from enemies out in the world, but I don't know how common it is. From what I understand, it's pretty friggin' rare. The Soul Wardens, on the other hand, can be used to make soul shields that you can use in fusion, or you can just simply destroy them for materials. This is great because I just basically make crit shields all day, and whenever I get another new soul shield, I unseal it and I add the crit to it. The only issue with this is it can cause you to waste unsealing charms, so just make sure that this is something you have prepared for the higher levels. You don't need to spam it at the early levels at the risk of losing your unsealing charms. Of course, another good combination, although I'm not going to give the full combinations because I don't know them off the top of my head, is the Radiant Rings or the Earthseers. You can make keys with the Radiant Rings, or you can make unsealing charms with the Earthseers, along with the recommended gathering classes that they have. Luckily, the game recommends them for you, so you just have to go to them and they'll pretty much fill in the information I left out here. You can do this on separate characters as well, so you can basically tailor 2 different characters to cover 2 different areas. And then if you have a 3rd character, 4th character, you can continue to have them all leveled to at least Jadestone Village, and maybe a little bit later on into the game, try some different classes, learn how they play in PvP, and be benefiting from all of the crafting and gathering benefits that the game has to offer. Now, all of these things I've been mentioning are supposed to help you have an easier leveling experience, but the big thing I probably haven't covered is how you actually go about leveling fast. For actual methods of leveling, there's a few mixed ways to go about it. Most people follow the quest along, doing every one that pops up endlessly. Now, while that definitely gives you direction and it can be satisfying to complete these quests, I mean, that's why so many MMOs do it nowadays anyway, on top of the EXP money and items that you get, there are points in the game where it could just flat out be more worth it to grind enemies. Now, I don't know any of these places off the top of my head, but luckily I've recently met someone who does actually know more about these things, someone who is, I would say, an expert in the Blade and Soul area, and he's played the Western version, so I'm going to recommend you to one of his videos. The person I'm talking about is Jae Sung, the former world champion from Season 4 Blade and Soul, and he got 3rd place in Season 5 last year. Going for 1st place again, I know you can do it, Jay. If you're looking to do some fast leveling, also, on top of his tips, you can buy the $5 Students Bundle on the Blade & Soul website. Gives you 7 days of premium for that extra EXP, for that extra money that you'll earn, as well as other bonuses, and a fancy pair of sunglasses. So you may want to grab that if you really want to go hard for a week or so. And that's going to be it for this video's tips and tricks to help ease your way through the leveling process. Hopefully this was useful to you, because I know a lot of people are having trouble with the keys and unsealing charms just simply running out. They definitely provide you more keys now than I feel like they did before, especially with the daily dash. Another thing you should be making sure that you take care of daily, which can just give you even more benefits, more Dragon Trader pouches, more keys, more unsealing charms, more everything. You might as well just do it. But anyway, guys, let me know if this video was useful to you, and if you have any tips or tricks, add them in the comment section of the video below for anyone who might be watching this video. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more Blade and Soul content. I'm getting close to max level, so I'm going to start doing a bit more PvP as well as the Pawarin dungeon, so you may see some videos on those in the near future. Anyway, until then, everyone, take care.